Hey guys, this is Coach Becca here, and welcome to my dynamic total body session. You will need a towel today, medium or small. We're going to begin with something called shoulder liftoffs. So go ahead and kind of ball your towel up and then lay flat on your stomach with your elbow in line with your shoulder. So there's a 90-degree angle at your elbow. And just gently lift your hand off the towel. So we're rotating at the shoulder, lifting our hand up. We're going to do 10 of these without the towel, and then you have the option to add the towel in as a gentle progression. So this is working rotation through the shoulder joint. Avoid flexing your wrist to make this movement happen. I like to cup my fingers to prevent that little cheat movement that the body kind of naturally wants to do. So I invite you to give that a try if you'd like. Just remember, we want the shoulder to work, not the wrist. Go ahead and grab the towel if you've got good shoulder mobility. So if you're getting good clearance off the towel, grab the towel and make the movement a little harder. You have the option to do these last 5 repetitions, body weight still. Awesome. So we're just going to do that same thing on the other side. Again, this works shoulder rotation, specifically external rotation of the shoulder. Make sure that elbow's at 90 degrees. Kind of in line with the shoulder there. You're welcome to turn your head to the side to watch your movement as well, whatever's comfortable for you. Sometimes that can help keep us honest. Again, 10 reps from the towel, and then we're going to do 5 reps as an option to use the towel as some light resistance. Remember, it's very gentle when we add mobility progressions. We don't need tons of weight. It's all about range of motion today, helping joints be more resilient, help them move more and more efficiently. So let's grab that towel here if you'd like to for the final 5. Awesome. All right, and we're going to move on next. We've got alternated Superman, so stay on the tummy. What you're going to do is lift one arm and then the opposite leg at the same time. Let's do it together here. So we're going to lift right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. You can lift your chest as well, and I want you to think about squeezing the glute on the opposite side. So this is a great extension exercise. It's nice that it's across the body too. That can be often sport specific. Perhaps you're a swimmer. This is one I have my swim team do often. Perhaps you suffer from lower back pain. This is an exercise that can help prevent lower back pain depending on the situation. But we're doing 20 total, and we're just alternating right arm, left leg to left arm, right leg. I invite you to keep the chin neutral, okay? So use your core, lift the chest, squeeze the glutes, and stretch fingertip to opposite toe without cranking too much on that neck if you think of it. Looking really strong out there. Great job, guys. Next, we've got an alternating scorpion. So again, stay on the tummy and try to organize these in a convenient fashion. You won't be able to see my head here, but your arms are just out like a T. I'm just going to show you a couple from this angle, and then I'll move and you can jump in, okay? So what you're doing is bringing your right leg up and over across your body towards your left hand. So you're aiming for the opposite hand, okay? Lifting up and over. And your goal is to try to keep your shoulder blades on the ground, your palms on the ground. So from this angle, jump in with me here. What we're doing is just opening up the hips, giving the spine a little bit of rotation. And we're doing about 12 of these, okay? So you'll get about 6 per side. You do need quite a bit of space for this one. Again, really lifting up first. So you're lifting your leg up and then over. And you do bend the knee at about 90 degrees as you reach towards the floor. Up, bend, over. Essentially, you're just trying to find the spot that feels good for the lower back, feels good for the hips. So take a couple deep breaths. It's always good to time your movements with your breath. As you can see, I've got 2 furry friends that are going to be bopping in to check on our form today, Red and Brownlee. So, all right, very good. Way to open up those hips, lift up and over. Next, we're going to do a movement called swimmers. So again, stay on the tummy. You can face your head down or to the side, kind of what I demonstrated there. Okay, and we're going to start by interlocking our fingers. The lower is easier, higher up on the back is harder. So let's just start right there on the curve of our lower back. Start by squeezing your glute and your core muscles. Then squeeze your shoulder blades and lift your elbows off the floor. Slowly straighten your arms using your triceps and then rotate your palms slowly overhead. Big stretch there. Keep the glutes tight and core tight, shoulder blades tight as you rotate the palms back. Slowly bend and return to the start position. Whew, take a deep breath. That should have been a little bit challenging. We're going to do 2 more swimmers. Okay, start by squeezing your glutes and your core. Squeeze your shoulder blades, lift the elbows off the ground. Slowly straighten the arms using the triceps or the back of the arms. Slowly rotate through the shoulder joint. Rotate those palms overhead. Big stretch, tight glutes, tight core, tight shoulder blades. Squeeze those shoulder blades together as you rotate the palms back, flexing those triceps. Bend at the elbow slowly. Return to the start position. Relax. Okay, we're going to do 1 more now. Engage the glutes and core, engage the shoulder blades, lift the elbows, straighten the arms out slowly, squeezing those arms. Let's get that shoulder mobility by rotating those palms overhead. Keep your core and glutes nice and solid. Slowly rotate back, mobilizing those shoulders, strengthening the back side of the body. Slowly blend the elbows, interlock those fingers, and relax. Great job on that. All right, let's work on the hips a little bit. We're going to do 3 rounds of PAIL rail contractions. We're going to do lateral PAILs. So we're going to be on all fours. So we're going to do lateral, a little bit of lateral training here. You're going to extend your leg or your foot 90 degrees from your hip. So I'll turn here so you can see. All right. And from here, we're going to do a 10-second PAIL contraction. So what you're going to do is press your instep down into the ground, and you're just pressing, kind of that little protrusion on the ankle. Think about driving that down. And now we're going to lift for 10 seconds. So you're lifting the ankle and holding. It's normal to get a little bit of a cramp kind of in the glute there, feel a little uncomfortable. So let's go back down to the PAIL contraction. Again, 10-second isometric constant push into the floor. All right, 10-second now lift. That's the rails where we're lifting up towards the ceiling. So this kind of push down, lift up cycle is meant to gain mobility and strength and control through the hip joint, specifically in the lateral plane of movement, hence the leg out to the side. Strengthen up some of those muscles that would help with side-to-side movement perhaps, and mobilizing that hip joint. All right, we got our last rail here, so we're going to lift. Strengthen those glutes, gain control of that hip joint, and just increase our mobility there through the hip. Let's try it on the other side now from this angle. Okay, so we're going to push down for 10 seconds. You should feel the adductor or kind of the inner thigh nice and awake there as you do that PAIL contraction or that push down. And then you're going to feel the glutes here as you do the rail or the lift contraction. So lift. Hang in there. It's really tough. You might going to get a couple cramps and you might need to take a rest. That's okay. We're just gaining some strength there, but I do invite you to do these pretty frequently if you're somebody that's really struggling here. Maybe just, 1 to 2 rounds a day, 10 seconds pushing up, then pressing down, then pushing up. Really well done. We're on the rail lift here. Okay, last time. Pushing into the floor, pushing the toe, pushing the instep, pushing the heel into the floor. And last time, lifting, hang in there, strong arms, strong core, really lift, make the hips do the work. All right, well done, you guys. Now we're going to do a little bit of a strength training exercise for the glutes and core. You're going to lay flat on your back with one knee bent. The opposite leg is straight, and you're going to lift your hips and drive the straight leg up towards the sky. This strengthens your glutes, your core, your hip flexors, and is just a really nice strength training movement as a lead off of all of those great mobility drills. We're going to do 12 per side. Try to exhale as you lift your hips and drive the leg. Inhale as you return to the start position. Lift those hips off the floor. Drive that leg towards the ceiling. So this is more of a strength training exercise with the kind of the hip flexion of the leg raise added in. So it's just nice and dynamic. That's kind of the theme today, dynamic. Switch sides. dynamic and functional, and sometimes it's like, what do those words really mean? And I think it's different for everybody. As an endurance athlete, body weight training like this is really all I need to be doing at the peak of my season. You might be different. This might be a good warm-up for you. This might be a challenging workout for you for getting back into it. I mean, it's going to be different to everyone and how you experience this session, even day to day, how it's going to feel. So I want you to think about what your current exercise goals are and how any of these movements are going to help you reach them. And if you can make that connection, you're going to have a really efficient and positive experience. All right, we're moving on to seated hip rotations. This one's tricky to explain, so I'll do my best in a short time. You want your knees at 90 degrees, okay? You got one leg behind you, one leg in front of you. And without moving your feet, you're just going to lay your knees from one side to the other. Now, if you struggle with mobility, you can place something like a large towel. This is obviously a small towel, or a pillow under your rear end, under your bum. And that can help allow successful range of motion through the movement. Okay, so it's okay to use that as a baby step. My dog Brownlee enjoys when I do these. So this is just a nice way to work rotation through the hips. Try to keep the knees 90 degrees from the hips or at a 90-degree angle. Just some gentle rotations there. Very good on the seated hip rotations. It's one of my favorites. And we're going to move on to dead bugs. This is a great core stability and core coordination exercise, and we are going to use a towel. So the knees are bent at 90 degrees. The arms are just over the shoulders. I'm straightening my right leg and extending my right arm, which is holding the towel at the same time. It's a great time to exhale as you lower down and inhale as you come back up. So again, both knees 90 degrees, both arms straight at the shoulders for the start position. Extend one leg and the same arm overhead at the same time. So this works hip extension, core stability. This is essentially working the deeper core muscles that you have versus working the most superficial core muscles, the six-pack muscles like a crunch would, okay? And for some people, this is going to be more functional because it lengthens those hip flexors, as it requires coordination. And we've just switched sides here. Okay, so find your breath. Again, you're lowering the right leg and the right arm overhead. So essentially you're creating space between your foot and your hand. And you always come back to the start position, which is knees over hips, hands over shoulders. Hang in there. This one is tough in terms of coordination. So if you need to hit pause, rewind, and try again while watching, I invite you to do that. Use your breath to help you time your movements. Inhale and exhale with your movement. Awesome. A great time if you need some water, you can grab a quick sip of water. And we're going to move on to the tripod reach next. Again, this is more of a strength training exercise. We're kind of in our strength segment. So with your knees at 90 degrees, hips on the floor, and one arm behind you, you're going to press up towards the sky and then reach the palm back. We'll switch sides here. So you're going to reach up and then back. This is just a great exercise. I love it. So again, drive the hips, reach your hand up, and then reach your palm overhead. Knees and feet just stay in one spot. So the knees are kind of always bent at 90 degrees. Drive the hips, reach up, reach back. And this is just an awesome hip opener, glute, core, even shoulder strengthening, shoulder mobility, spine mobility. I love it. Can't get enough of this one, especially with that extension bonus point added in. Drive the hips. If you work at a chair or sit down a lot, this exercise is money for you. So we're going to do a little bit of a pause in our strength. Those were kind of 3 strength exercises in a row. There's a proprioception drill I want to work in as a bit of recovery for you. So grab your towel and spread it out on the floor. Using your toes and your arch, I just want you to scrunch that towel up as much as you can. Just scrunch, scrunch, scrunch it up. Try to keep your heel down, but if you need to move it around a little bit, you can. Again, the goal isn't necessarily to do this fast or quickly. It's really just to get, to strengthen your toes, strengthen your arch, strengthen your proprioception, which can help with balance, walking, running, just kind of a barefoot mechanic drill that I like to work in once in a while. It's weird and it's maybe not super glamorous, so I guess I don't put it into videos very much, but as a runner, I've found that it's important to keep the big toe mobility, toe strength, and proprioception strong to help keep me injury free, keep me from getting something like plantar fasciitis and all that. All right, so we've got another strength move, and this is where things get sketchy because the dogs just wanted to get with me here. So if you have dogs out there, I know you understand. So you can do this as either a kneeling push-up to a walkout, or if you've got a shoulder injury, just skip the push-up entirely, okay? So take this out if you've got a shoulder injury. From here, we're going to walk the hands out, and this is great for the core, okay, but it's also great for strengthening your shoulders and lats. If it's painful, I just want you to hold a forearm plank during this time, or even a wall sit if you've got any iffiness in the shoulder. So here's the most advanced version. We're going to do 5 of these total now. So full push-up to a walkout, back in. So if you need to, you can do kneeling push-up to a walkout. You can do a full push-up to a walkout like me. We're doing 5 of them total. You can just do the walkouts in the plank position without a push-up. You could just hold a plank, or if none of those things work for you and your body, you can hold a wall sit instead. I know everyone's in a different position out there, and you've got to make those judgment calls, and I invite you to do that. All we're doing here is plank, push-up, walk the hands out, stretching that core, pushing, squeezing the glutes so those hips aren't rocking around. Feet are shoulder width apart back there. Very good job, you guys. We're going to finish with a little ankle stretch here. So go ahead and push one leg out, and all we're going to do is just kind of drive that heel into the ground as we drop our hips into this stretch, pushing the knee forward slightly and just stretching out the heel, the ankle, the Achilles, about 15 to 30 seconds aside. And then we're going to go to the other side. Again, you're just kind of finding the Achilles, the back of the heel, giving it a good stretch, stretching out the hips a little bit as a bonus. And you guys did great. So thank you for joining me today. This is going to be my final YouTube session just for the next 2 weeks. I've been posting every day. So as we drop into child's pose, I just want to give you a heads up. I know I've got a lot of loyal followers out there. I appreciate you so much. Next week, I will not be posting a video. I'm just on vacation next week, but I'll be back, and I'll be shifting my focus to out-season strength training. This is the last week of my in-season triathlon season. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in 2 weeks for out-season strength work.